What's up, listeners? Happy 2026. You're tuned into The World is My Burrito and the very first entry of the year. This is your host, Corey, and what you're about to hear is a first impressions episode covering the recently released animated film All You Need Is Kill, featuring previous guest Luke. This means no research and no notes, just two dudes going off our terrible memories. In about a month, I'll be releasing another episode that is much more informative, featuring Phil and Eric from the Wait For It podcast. If you want to get ahead of the game, check out the original novel and manga titled All You Need Is Kill by Hiroshi Sakurazaka, also available in audiobook format. Or you can check out Edge of Tomorrow, the live-action American adaptation featuring Tom Cruise, and, if you can find it, the aforementioned animated film from this year titled All You Need Is Kill. Now sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy learning absolutely nothing for the next hour. Also, spoilers. This is all spoilers, so if you don't want anything spoiled whatsoever, maybe don't listen to it, but also this is very incoherent, so maybe it won't spoil anything whatsoever, except the very ending. Thank you, bye. So you will have already heard all of the informative stuff before this, for those of you who are listening. But that also means that right now, as of this recording, I don't have all of the information of All You Need Is Kill. So if there are any questions and I do not know the answers, and this is for those listening, not to Luke, but by the way, Luke is here. But I wanted to get Luke back on for this because I'm digging how much new stuff he's getting, if you couldn't tell with the Halloween episode and like Battle Royale. It is very fun to hear someone else's perspective of something that, I don't know, it's fun. And he's willing to jump on the podcast, so I'm totally down with bringing him back. All right, so All You Need Is Kill. What is your familiarity with this to begin?
Well, I saw the original movie, as far as I'm aware, which is Edge of Tomorrow, a while back. I mean, I think I've seen it twice. The first time I don't remember, but God, I couldn't even tell you. It's been at least 10 years.
Okay.
I'm guessing. But I think ultimately it's a pretty simple movie. I have most of it pretty well memorized. And then just recently, in preparation for this new movie that came out, I listened to the audiobook just because I wanted to be able to compare all of the differences. And thank God I did, because I would not have been prepared for this movie if I did not read that book.
Yeah. So, well, first off, because I read the novel, how long's the audiobook?
5 hours. Very short.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. That's actually slightly longer than I thought.
I finished it in one day. Easy.
Yeah. It's super short. It is like light novel for sure. It, I think, barely breaks what it means to be a novel. But yeah, so you have context. I mean, honestly, the most important things, you learned right before we hit record that there is a manga. Mm-hmm. The manga is basically scene for scene what the novel is.
I'm excited to read that one.
Yeah. Basically what I told people is it sounds like someone was reading the novel and just sort of drawing it out. Whether that's a pro or a con, I'll leave that up to, the listener.
Definitely a pro. I haven't read it yet, but I feel like definitely a pro. I mean, I will say this. Out of all three of the things, of the mediums that I've seen so far, animated, live action, the book, I think the book is definitely my favorite.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, because we can get into that first. So I haven't fully finished the novel because I read the manga first, and I'm 2/3 of the way through, or 3/4 of the way through the book. But it really is, it's like kind of painful to read because it's like I just read this, like in manga format. It's really not a great variety. Like the manga really does keep too true to it, and I feel like that is to the detriment in some ways. So of the four, my favorite is actually Edge of Tomorrow. Conceptually, I like the manga, but Edge of Tomorrow shows you the whole world, which is a really big positive for me.
Well, you said you haven't finished the novel yet?
I haven't, but in the novel, and then you'll learn this in the manga pretty quickly, you never go anywhere. And visually in the manga, the only things that are drawn out, and so far, reading the actual book, the only place that is ever described is the base.
Yeah.
So when they leave, they're not anywhere in the manga. They're nowhere. It's so character focused that you aren't anywhere in the manga, and the book doesn't describe anything. It's like, we're just fighting, and it's like, okay, but where are you fighting?
I think a big chunk of the first chapter is dedicated to setting on the battlefield, but that setting is inside the suit.
Mm-hmm.
Because, so, this is one thing that I have a problem with both of the movies. The suit is entirely encapsulating.
Mm-hmm.
In All You Need Is Kill, you have this, like, glass helmet that you can see through. In Edge of Tomorrow, you don't have any head protection. The way the suit is described in the book feels a lot more like Fallout power armor, or like a Tony Stark Iron Man suit, where you have like a feed into the suit.
Yeah.
So everything that you get about the battlefield is entirely like numbers and perception. It's very vague because he does not have access to the outside world outside of what the suit tells him.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. But it could still, I felt like the author could still have described more of like where they're fighting, because it just says he's fighting these things. But barring the intro description, you're never really told the intro description and then the beach scene. And then beyond that, it's like, yeah, it killed a bunch of them on the battlefield. So the battlefield is this non-existent place. It reminds me very much of cannon fodder from Katsuhiro Otomo. Memories. And cannon fodder, you never see the enemy or the enemy's land. It's just the TV telling you, oh yeah, we hit the enemy today, but like you never see the enemy. And in there, I think that's done really well because it's all propaganda. Like that's what they're going for, is like it's propaganda.
Maybe.
But in this one, I wanted a little bit more, like it's an action book, but it never feels like there's action.
Well, I guess I disagree, because it is action on a blank page.
Yeah.
You have to think, like, when you walk into your house, you can't smell your own house because you're there every day. This guy spends over 100 days on the same battlefield over and over. The battlefield is nothing to him.
Yeah.
It is the blank space by which he writes a new story every day.
Yeah. I like that perspective, but I wish they had done more, at least early on, because I could understand that perspective down the line. But he's just like, oh, I was running and then I died, or oh, I was doing this, and it's like, okay, but what I want to see as a reader, as a viewer, because in the manga it's kind of the same. They never show you where you are, and it's like, I kind of want to know, like, where are we fighting? Not just what is it, the Bosu Islands or something? Because again, they go insanely detailed in that first chapter, and then everything beyond that is like, I was on the battlefield. Like,
do you have an image in your head of where it is?
Solely because of Edge of Tomorrow, and really because the few panels where they show mimics in the manga are like in sand, and that's where they were in Edge of Tomorrow.
I see.
So they look totally different. I think the manga does the best stylistically, because the mimics are super fucking weird in that. But yeah, so I think that's it's a cool take. I'm glad you dig the book the most.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think the Edge of Tomorrow is the best interpretation of it. And once I lend you the manga, it'll be really interesting to hear if you feel that it's escalated because you did like the novel. And like I said, I feel like this really is just someone like, yeah, sure, they're looking to the left and reading, and on the right they're just drawing.
Yeah.
all right, you've got 3 of the 4, and honestly, that's all that matters. The manga is kind of whatever. So, how did you feel about All You Need Is Kill, this movie?
I gotta say, like, entering into it for the first 20 minutes, I was a little worried because the impression that I was given is that it was going to be a little closer to the book than Edge of Tomorrow. And in some ways it was. I think if I had to really like put a number to it, it felt like Edge of Tomorrow, the movie, and All You Need Is Kill, the movie, are each 60% accurate to the book, but the opposite 60%.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is super cool. I feel like Edge of Tomorrow is probably a little more accurate.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very hard because it's all over the place. Did we already discuss the power armor? That's definitely one thing that I think they did better in the new movie is showing the progression of skill with the power armor.
Yeah.
Showing how difficult it was, but I don't think either movie really showed truly what the power armor was bringing to the stage. Because in the book, it specifically describes that people aren't fighting with this axe that is specially made for the Full Metal Bitch, because if you were to pick up that axe, you would snap your spine trying to swing it.
Yes.
Because
that does happen in the who does that happen to? In the novel, it's both in the novel and again in the manga because it's scene for scene. But someone snaps themselves in half. It was okay. I keep getting Rita's backstory confused.
Yeah, I don't believe that happened in the book, as far as I remember.
I think it's Rita's backstory that someone used something and they did something and broke their own spine on the battlefield because they overexerted and the suit's like, all right, and it went further than they could. That is something I think that both Edge of Tomorrow and this film, and really, it kind of bums me out, but a knock against this film, reading the novel, and I don't think the manga does this, but I love when they describe that, in the throes of death, when your body is twitching, the armor is registering it as movement.
Yes.
So they said on the battlefield, you'll see exo armors twitching, doing these weird things because, the dude's already dead. It's just muscle spasms that it's registering as movement.
I think I may be remembering this wrong, but I think it also has that reaction to the quakes of fear that people have, where it takes these very subtle muscle spasms that people have when they're quaking in fear and exaggerates
it translates
them.
Yeah. So that the anime, I kind of get why they wouldn't have done that in Edge of Tomorrow, but in this anime I feel like they had a ton of instances where they could have. Because they do show groupings of bodies and stuff, and it could have just been don't pay attention to it, but 1 or 2 people, when they show the masses of destruction, 1 or 2 people, the suit's still going while they're obviously dead. Okay, so having come from the novel, and you read that recently, right?
3 days ago.
Okay, yeah, so super recent. What was your impression? Because when it starts off, we see the red-haired girl. It's okay, obviously we're talking about Rita.
Yeah.
Because Rita's the red chick. And 30, 40 minutes in, she says something about Yonabaru. And when she says that, I'm like, Yonabaru is from Keiji's story. Obviously this isn't the same story because the first wave has never happened, whereas the novel and the manga and Edge of Tomorrow take place in a post-apocalyptic world where the mimics have been fighting. But she says something, the dude with the shaved sides and the man bun, with the blonde man bun, she says something about Yonabaru. And I was like, all right, what's going on? Because Yonabaru does not know Rita. Yonabaru knows Keiji. He's from Keiji's story.
Yes.
And Rita's story is separate entirely.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you didn't quite catch on to that.
No, I mean, I definitely in the movie or in the animated movie, I definitely caught on to the fact that he was introduced, and I knew instantly the moment I saw him which character he was supposed to be. I guess I didn't catch on to what you're saying.
Yeah, because he's in the wrong story.
Yeah.
If this were the original adaptation, he's in the wrong story.
Yes, but also the fact that we started with her, we're in the wrong story.
Well, so because I didn't know where this was going to go, and honestly, I am not 100% sure if I saw a full trailer for this. Just like tidbits. But at first I was like, oh shit, are we getting Rita's backstory that eventually leads?
Yes.
Because Rita, and you know this from the novel, I think Edge of Tomorrow did this, but Rita has done the loop thing multiple times.
Yeah.
Because she did it a long time ago, figured it out, got out of that loop, and then got into another loop.
Wait,
but they've mentioned she's done hundreds of battles.
So she did do that in Edge of Tomorrow.
But not that loop. She was, because phrasing is the issue. In Edge of Tomorrow and in the novel and manga, Rita is stuck in Keiji's loop.
Yes.
However, Rita has been in different series of loops in the past.
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought we were getting the start because clearly the mimics don't exist yet.
Yes.
So I was like, oh shit, we're getting Rita's backstory. Technically, yes, but also technically, no. So, yeah, when she mentions Yonobaru, I'm like, and it's funny because, like you said, when they showed him, I'm like, I feel Yonobaru right now.
Well, just the brashness and the kind of sexually charged.
Yeah.
Well,
because that's who he was in the novel and in the manga.
He is so sexual. He is sexual with everybody. He feels kind of a permission to, while he doesn't make physical contact with her, he does pull her earbud out, which is tantamount to a form of familiarity that he definitely does not have with her.
Yeah, absolutely not.
So yeah, just you could tell that swagger. That was reading the book. That is the character that he wrote.
Yeah.
But maybe this is something I don't remember from the original movie, Edge of Tomorrow. Did she actually go through the loops earlier? Or was she just super skilled?
I don't remember. I feel like there was some kind of a familiarity. But I could be wrong.
She recognized his skill.
Yeah.
And then believed him based off of something.
Yeah.
I don't remember her having gone through the loops, but that could just be it's been a while, so it might be a fault in my memory.
Like, as of this recording, obviously, I haven't rewatched it. That will be coming up before the full episode is released to make more comparative. Oh, goodness. To make more comparative notes. But, yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that.
Because in my head, so in the original one, she's in Edge of Tomorrow, she's super skilled, and he is going through the loops, and then the story continues.
Yeah.
In All You Need Is Kill, the animated movie, they're both going through the loops simultaneously. In the book, it's one and then the other. And that's where a lot of the romantic tension comes in later in the book.
Yeah.
So I thought that it was interesting that, at least in my memory, neither movie got it quite on the money there.
Well, and as we were talking about when we first got here, or actually it was to David, like all their ages are wrong, which is whatever, because they're early 20s for Keiji, or I think mid 20s, because Rita is, I don't think they landed on a number, but she's like 19 or 20.
That sounds about right. In the book, she
stole someone's ID.
Very young.
Yeah, she stole someone's ID when she was 16 in order to get into the military because you couldn't get in it until 18.
Yeah.
And she stole the ID off of a dead person and joined up, got into a loop, and learned, like,
if you want to consider it luck or not, but she lucked out by getting into a loop and being able to survive that in younger years and improve.
I think that she had natural aptitude even before her first loop.
I think I'm about to reach her backstory in the novel. I don't remember her having natural aptitude. From what I can remember in the manga, the natural aptitude comes from her having accidentally gone through loops early on. So it seems like she had natural aptitude.
Maybe I read a little extra into this, but there's a point in the book that describes her as, like, she's, there's this dichotomy between what a person wants to do and what a person can do.
Yeah.
What they're good at. If she had what she wanted, she would be training show pigs on a farm. But she's good at killing mimics.
Yeah.
And that happened for a couple of battles even before she went into her first loop.
Yeah, and I might be misspeaking or underselling it, but yeah, she wasn't bad at it. Because obviously they let her keep going at 16, but not knowing that she was 16.
Well, I also don't know if in the book she went when she was 16, because she was 16 when they first get into her backstory.
Was it 17? I might be off by. I might be confusing the two.
She definitely joined when she was young, and also, she has 5 years of military experience, but that's her personal experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see, because we were talking about the natural aptitude and her age.
Yeah.
Because the story starts when she's 6, and I could be off by a year, but I know, again, at least in the manga, she stole someone's ID to get in early. It might be that it started at 16 and that she joined at 17, but they required 18.
So, and again, this is the downfall of listening to audiobooks. The reason I don't read books is because I'll read the same paragraph for a full hour. I listen to an audiobook and it forces me through a whole chapter whether or not I really absorbed all of it. But I recall this process where, she was living rural life, happy to live rural life. The war was going on in the background, but it hadn't really picked up yet. I got the sense that the mimics were still almost seen like animals and not an army.
Yeah.
And she was living this life until the mimics made it to her part of town, killed her entire family, and that's what made her want to join the army.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm trying to think about it now. Am I confusing it with the movie? No, because the movie, it's a mom, an abusive mother, but no father. Mm-hmm. And I swear in the manga, it is a father with no mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
she has
what
a dad,
I remember.
but she is on the farm in the manga, but she's not on a farm, and she's in a trailer park. I mean, honestly, it's kind of interesting because this is all supposed to be Japan. Well, no, she's not in Japan.
No.
Though that's not really explained.
I don't think they said it anywhere.
No, but it really looks like she's in a trailer park in New Mexico or Texas or something.
Yeah. Or
when they show those long open roads, it's like, oh yeah, this is not Japan.
And the model of car she's driving.
Yes, exactly. Okay, you mentioned that it is very much like they're both adapting the book, but in their own ways. As I was going into the movie, I was like, I swear to God, this better not be the same thing. Mm-hmm. Because I'm over it. We've got 3 of roughly the same thing.
It was definitely not the same thing.
Yeah.
I think I was really worried that they weren't going to get to my favorite scene from the book, which I guess you'll get there eventually. Mm. But it's the battle between the two of them at the end of the book.
Yeah.
Which in the movie happens after the romantic scene. So So there is a scene where she's on the beach, but they don't really engage each other. The real romantic scene in the book is where he has gone through several loops working with her, and they take a break. They're out on the beach, and he makes a subtle gesture where he's holding her hand and doesn't even realize and forgets that she hasn't gone through everything he's gone through
Yeah.
with her. So he lets go and kind of has to let the moment pass. And I think from that moment on, subconsciously he is manipulating time to like get closer to her at the same time as he's trying to fix the whole problem.
Yeah.
Which is what ultimately leads them to the last day where he wakes up in her bed, not his.
On that, and I'm pretty sure the novel was the same. The novel's definitely the same. It's the day before.
Well, in the book, maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but it felt like they had
It's a day
48
and a, like
48
a day and a half.
hours,
Yeah,
yeah.
like a day and a half
Like
before
2 days, yeah.
Because they always say we're shipping out tomorrow.
Exactly.
So when he wakes up in her bed, that is still him living his first day, but the second day. So he's not waking up. It's not that time has changed. It's that it's the second day.
Yeah.
Because he always, and I feel like that's one of the things that's kind of missed out on, because there's a 24-hour period where he's only on base. At bare minimum 24 hours, because we don't know when he leaves. But it's like, oh yeah, I'm on base, and now we're fighting. So it turns those 2 days into one real quick.
But also, he only wakes up in her bed on the last day.
Yeah.
And they already know it's the last day, or at least she already knows it's the last day because she instigates a fight with him to end it all.
Yeah. But it's because she, much the same, and that's what I really liked about this, is it's, in the animated movie, it's Keiji who figured it out. So in the original story, it's Rita who figured it out.
I think it would have worked way better that way, but yeah.
Yeah. The anime, I think, worked out well for the way that it worked out. The novel, I think Rita is just over living because she's done the loop thing so many times.
Yeah.
That's why she wants to die. It's like, dude, I've done this so much, I'm over it. Like, I've not lived a long life, but I've lived a long life.
And she doesn't have the benefit of repeating with another person. She only gets that benefit for one day, and it repeats, and she doesn't get that benefit anymore.
Yeah.
He has her.
Yeah.
Which is and it's that asymmetric romance that I think is really cool. And they do end All You Need Is Kill with that.
Yeah.
But I feel like it doesn't have the same impact that it had in the book.
I will say I was very surprised by the ending, because I am so used to the depressing Japanese ending that it was wild to see a positive one, because it's like, oh shit, when she wakes up again, for one, I was surprised by that, because it's like, okay, how did Darol have enough power? He's dead. How did he have enough power to reset time once again? Whatever, don't care.
Well, they explain that in the with the scientist. The scientist says, "Oh, it's only going to be able to eat one of you at a time."
Yeah, but it does eat him.
Yeah.
And then they both die. But how does it, like, he's fading away in front of their eyes, and then still she wakes
that's
up.
His death, and his death triggers the next series where
I guess
she would have gotten eaten.
Yeah. But she wakes up, and she walks around. She can't find Keiji, and I was like, oh man, that's really sad, but that's what I expected. I was honestly surprised that it did not continue from the death of Keiji, and that was the world she lived in now, where all of those people died. But then it reset, and none of her friends died, none of the co-workers died.
There should have been one more battle.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, that's kind of cool, but it's fitting that Keiji is not there. And then she finds Keiji again, and it's like, okay, like, I'll accept it because I'm so used to the really depressing ending.
Yeah.
And again, this cannot be the same thing. I love that it went so far out of the way that it's like, no, we will actually change the feeling of the ending, where now they can both be together. And instead of, because again, I didn't want this to be Edge of Tomorrow or the manga or the novel. We could not have a repeat.
I don't know. I felt like the book was quite different from Edge of Tomorrow, and I was definitely hoping for something a little closer to the book.
So Edge of Tomorrow, does Rita not die in that? I felt like she died.
I don't I do remember they have like a big battle in like central London or something.
Yeah, I don't think they fight each other.
No, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I thought she did.
I think a lot of they have a whole party of people with them, and a lot of people sacrifice themselves for them to get to like some core.
Because it's the Americanized version, so you have to have people sacrificing. But I thought she did die, and it was one of those where he's like, okay, I can either reset again, or because I'm literally already here at the end, I can finish this and be done with it. Mm-hmm. And she now dies officially. I thought it was one of those decisions. So where she's like injured. I could be making it up, and again, I'll find out in a couple of days. But I seem to remember it as like she is going to die. She sustained a
life-threatening injury.
Yeah, life-threatening injury, and there's no way out of it. And it's like, okay, well, he either chooses to reset and undo everything that they just fought for, or finish it there and let her die. But we'll see in sometime this week. But yeah, I did like that she gets to keep. In this one, Rita gets to keep Keiji.
Yeah.
Obviously, as with most things, I really hope that they never do a sequel to this. I don't want to see more.
What would a sequel be?
Yeah, at this point, unless the mimics come back, because I think that was the weirdest. The ending wasn't weird. It was the fact that this is the beginning. The end of this film is the end of the beginning.
Yes.
So it's all wrapped up in one movie.
Yes.
Whereas Edge of Tomorrow, manga, novel are all. This has been going on for a long time.
In the novel, it's like 20 years.
Yeah, God, I forgot it was that long because like much of the Earth is uninhabitable at this point.
I don't remember if that's the case.
Well, the mimics eat like whatever they consume is excreted as like toxic waste. So everything they eat is turned into waste. So the world is becoming uninhabitable. Like water is becoming undrinkable. Land is becoming unwalkable.
That.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I feel like I don't remember either movie actually addressing, which is there's this small chapter or part of a chapter in the book that kind of describes knowledge of where the mimics come from that nobody on the Earth is privy to. Mm-hmm. It kind of takes you out of the story for a second and says, hey, by the way, this is why all of this is happening, which I thought was kind of cool. And I think part of why I think it's cool is because I'm reading the 3 Body Problem series right now, and it's very, to me, reminiscent of that, which is that there's this alien species somewhere far away that in preparation of coming to Earth sends out nanobots.
Okay.
And the nanobots fall to Earth and create these mimics that are meant to, they call it xenoform the Earth.
Okay.
So it's not just like making it undrinkable, it is turning it into a hospitable world for an alien species.
Okay. So trying to think of what else, because I feel like we've covered just about everything. There were nods. I loved, if there's one thing that this film did right, is the montage where they are in the buff suits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And hers is red and his is blue.
The red suit, yes.
Yeah, but his being blue, because when she dies, he paints his suit blue.
Yes.
It's at the end of the novel. It's like one of the last sentences.
I'm definitely glad they paid homage to that, because that didn't show up in any of the trailers, and I was a little worried about that.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking the same thing, that it's like, all right, she's known for that. Again, when it started, I thought, okay, maybe we're getting the intro story, and that by the end of it, she'll be
That's what
the
I was
Full Metal
hoping
bitch.
for.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
But I like what they did. I feel like it was tasteful. You get to see it in there because this is a different story, so she cannot end as the Full Metal bitch. So a point we're talking about, I really liked how advanced they got. For as goofy as it is to think that, okay, you only have like maybe 4 hours to do this, and now you fully upgraded your suits, you have construction robots fighting for you, you have triggering systems in your
they have a whole swarm of survey bots.
Yeah.
That he just like, and he has to do all of this programming the morning.
In a couple of hours, yeah. But I like that all of that was for naught. I like that they built up to that. It gets really epic, and it's so cool. And then at the very end, they just go back to their original suits.
Yeah. After a while, though, imagine writing 300 lines of code, and it becomes so routine, it's like typing in your password.
Yeah, I was talking with Brenda about that, and it's like maybe he learns how to write it faster. Maybe there are shortcuts because he's improving it each time.
Or maybe it's not even code. Maybe it's just like...
Just vibes, baby.
It's like using an Apple anything.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
It just kind of works. So, because that is like, all right, I don't think this guy has this much time upgrading the suit. But also, because, and it's not explained, and I like that it's not explained, but where the fuck did those suits come from?
Right?
Like, how did you get suits that literally no one else has?
Okay, this is my biggest grievance with both movies. I love that in the book, her weapon, Rita's weapon, is bespoke.
Yeah.
It is something specifically made for her. She said, "Oh, I've tried this 1,000 times, and I need something that will work even if it's blunt, will work when it's sharp.
Yeah.
And I need it quick, I need it sturdy." And they essentially just laser cut it. I think they specifically say they cut it out of the wing of a retired, like, stealth bomber or something.
Yeah.
It's made of something carbide, I forget exactly. But it's just like a single solid piece of metal. Neither of the movies do that, where it's just a single solid just thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I like that it is a larger axe, though. I don't think the
I imagine
animated
it is pretty
film,
large. I mean, for it to be so large that the inertia of it tears your spine apart if you're not careful,
yeah,
it's got to be pretty heavy.
But in the animated film, there are two different sizes of axe.
That's
But
part of
I
the joke, yeah.
feel like they didn't do a good enough job. However, if we are keeping it in this world, why would an even larger axe look too much different than a small axe? Why would she have like a battle axe? Because they're literally using this to chop trees.
So one thing that I noticed kind of later on in the film is that the axe that they ultimately end up using, the base of it, has at the bottom what looks to me as a like a 90-degree pipe fitting.
Okay.
So in my head, you know, for 100 days that she was redoing this, he was in the background trying to help her without her knowing.
Yeah.
And he potentially like fabricated this secondary axe and put it in
yeah.
front of her. So I think he just fabricated it from things he found around. That's why it existed. It wasn't something that they just had lying around.
But it was styled off of the ones that they normally use.
Yeah, well, it would have to be because he had to use the parts that they had.
Yeah, because there is the one scene when she first notices it, it wasn't there before. And it's before she noticed Keiji.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I liked because it's like, oh, wait, why didn't she grab that the last time? I do like that the movie makes you put things together.
Yeah.
Because I will say I was gonna be real disappointed when her suit like upgrades on the fly. I'm like, there's no fucking way they're pulling the shit out of their ass. And then the moment she sees a character at a computer, I'm like, my first thought is, oh shit, that's Keiji. Mm-hmm. And the second thought is, oh yeah, that would that connected immediately back to the suit being like, you know, suit upgraded.
I had a very different experience, and maybe it's just like, I think for me the movie was so different up to that point, I expected it to just like continue being different.
Yeah.
So for me, I had the impression that like maybe there was something nefarious going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe they were just going to go completely off the wall and go do something completely different.
Yeah, because it is. I can't remember if I've read that in the novel, but it mentioned it in the manga. I mean, I feel like it's shown it everywhere. Where whenever the person in the loop tries a variation,
Yes.
it adapts to that, which is weird because if they try the same thing over and over again, it's not necessarily better at stopping them. But when they try something different, it's really good at stopping them. Because, like, when Keiji runs onto the beach, it kills him right there.
I think they only bother to adapt to situations that causes them to not end up dying. Like, if you do the same thing, like, for example, if you wake up a particular way early in the morning, and every time you wake up that way, they're going to end up killing you anyway, why would they bother adapting to that?
Yeah, I guess. But when they were showing the footage, I was wondering, even though it is made to look like a CRT that's maybe not fully receiving signal, I was like, are we getting Darol's vision? Is this Darol countering her? And then we learned that it's Keiji with a drone.
Yeah. Speaking of Darol / the mimics.
I know, that's a fucking... they never say mimic.
Yeah. Well, okay, so personally, I like the depiction of the mimics in Edge of Tomorrow better.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know how much you remember about how they're described in the book, but the things that stuck out to me was that they are like this about the size of like a whiskey cask, but twice as heavy as a human.
Yeah. They're shaped almost dog-like in Edge of Tomorrow. I completely forgot that.
So, again, it's been a while, but do you know that game, Prey?
Yeah.
In my memory, Edge of Tomorrow mimics look a lot like large versions of the little guys from Prey. And maybe I'm just remembering it wrong.
Because, yeah, they look like Venom.
Oh,
if
that's
Venom
a little
were
more...
dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was remembering it wrong then.
Yeah, and in the...
You should play Prey, though. Anyway. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Everybody play Prey.
Play Prey. Because they're just round things with teeth in the manga. Which I like that the most. The Edge of Tomorrow ones feel the most American.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of the mimics in the film, animated film, because they don't seem threatening. And in like they go into detail saying like, okay, everything they eat turns into fucking like toxic waste.
Yeah.
And there is a scene where a mimic eats someone and then steam comes out, and it's like, I'm not really picking up that they're poisoning the planet.
Yeah, that
in
seems
this
more
one
like some
scene.
Attack on Titan shit.
Yeah. That was another thing that I didn't really like. But this is the initial invasion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like maybe you could chalk it up to being a different type of mimic, and they change them down the line to start poisoning the planet more.
So I think in my head, I'm just gonna play like if I made the movie right here. Did you ever see The Day After Tomorrow? Or no, sorry, the Day the Earth Stood Still.
So,
The new one, not the original, the new one, the Keanu Reeves one.
Yeah,
so bad.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Did?
Yeah.
Now,
I saw it in theater, and that's it.
There was the whole nanobot swarm that they had.
Yeah, Gort was nanobots.
And now imagine taking that and turning it into like a starfish type thing that had the properties of what you would see from the video game Prey.
Okay.
That is ultimately in mass, or like in volume, about the size of a barrel. That would be the perfect mimic in my head.
I don't remember how the novel described them, because I remember when they described them in the novel, I was like, this is not what the manga showed.
Mm-hmm.
They are an orb that, I mean, honestly, Pac-Man, the front is just teeth. And they can launch, basically, tungsten steel shit at people. Yeah, look it up. I like that design a lot because it's so dumb that it's honestly kind of terrifying. Where it's
What
like,
the
it's a literal ball with teeth, but they fucking
I mean, that's kind
They
of
can
cool.
rapid fire spikes that are not teeth. They can rapid fire spikes out of their mouth at like faster than the speed of sound.
I mean, I guess if I was going to say that was cool, it does feel cool in like a Soul Eater kind of way, like a Krona from Soul Eater, or I guess Ragnarok. Krona was just the vessel, but that's a whole other podcast.
Do that someday.
No, okay. So it is getting late, and I do have to work tomorrow. I have to work tonight too. So do you have any last thoughts about it? I mean, overall, it seems like you liked it for the most part.
I did.
You liked the novel the most.
Like I said, I feel like what this movie did really well was bringing aspects of the book into film form that the American Edge of Tomorrow did not bring into it. What more can you ask? I guess I could ask for a perfect rendition, but you know,
I think it's actually cool that we've gotten such a variety because we have a manga. It was a novel that has been adapted to a manga, a live-action American film, and then an animated Japanese film. And barring all of the similarities in the manga, I like that we have essentially 3 different stories because Edge of Tomorrow is a slight variation, and then animated All You Need Is Kill is massive variation. And I did really appreciate that. I still like Edge of Tomorrow, I think, the most. We'll find out. But I think I like that the most. But I do greatly respect this film because I love that it did different stuff. I think this is one that I will go back to watch.
Yeah.
You know, it's beginning of 2026. I feel like I'll watch this again before 2026 is over. Cool. I really appreciate you being on for this. I'm glad that you bothered me about it because I forgot that it was happening already.
Yeah.
Like this film, I remember seeing the announcement. It's like, cool, I got some time. And it's like, nope, you don't. It's January. So I managed to watch this in between conventions, which was great. So, yeah, Luke, again, as always, really appreciate it. I mean, this is the only place that people will find you. So
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Until the next thing that we happen to, see together.
Well, there's a lot of cool things coming out soon, so we'll
I know.
see.
We have this year's going to be good. So I'll still find like more for Luke's Corner or whatever I call this. But all right, dude. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on.
Keep an eye out over the next month. I have an episode coming up with the Wait For It podcast covering this same topic. I am a guest on an upcoming episode of A Cut Above Horror Review. I have some of my own episodes in the works already, so yeah, just kind of keep an eye out. Oh, also, Monarch Legacy of Monsters. That will either be a weekly or bi-weekly thing beginning at the end of February with guests. So if you would like to guest, reach out. If you want to reach out to me, you can always get me at twimbipodcast@gmail.com. That's TWIMBpodcast@gmail.com. And you can find me on any social media at twimbipodcast. Maybe I'll start using Instagram more. Maybe.